communication.
Een Macintosh computer te hebben.
Kwaliteit.
Without big bureaucracies.
Overpopulatie. Mexican food.
I don't really like the color gray.
I think computers are in because they're coming up with more things, more technology.
La libertà che il computer dà è totale, perché una volta c'erano gli acquerelli, la carta, i pennelli, le matite, tante piccole cose. Adesso tutto questo è tutto concentrato in un unico set, che è il computer, e quindi questo consente il massimo della libertà.
Travel abroad is it?
Working too hard.
Nou, we hebben eigen applicaties gemaakt waarmee we heel goed grensdocumenten kunnen maken. En daardoor communiceren we beter ook met buitenlandse klanten.
Om concurrerend te zijn, dat is het belangrijkste van alles.
Per me ciò che in l'amore, l'eleganza e la simpatia. L'egoismo, la guerra, la cattiveria. Out. Tutto out.
Guarda, si può vedere da questo. Questo è un disegno elettronico e questo invece è un disegno fatto col pennello. Io credo che ci sia la continuità, quella di cui parlavamo prima, tra tradizione e nuove tecnologie, ma la sostanza è restata quella, perché è rimasto uguale l'approccio.
コミュニケーションがイン、アウトは自己中心主義。
マッキントッシュっていうのは日本語も確かに英語も両方同じソフトを使えます。それは非常に我々にとってやりやすくて、日本語で日本向けに、文章を書いたり、逆にそれをトランスレートしてアメリカ人に伝えたり両方できる。それは非常にありがたいコンピューターです。
そうですね、ラーニングは私のモットーですけれども、常に若くチャレンジングにできていると思います。
I think what's in is energy efficient homes. I think what's out is just polluting the air.
Ik denk dat het heel erg belangrijk is voor mensen om zichzelf te uiten. Ook om andere dingen die in hun leven gebeuren, om dat te kunnen uiten.
Parce qu'il y a trop de médias, trop de télévision, trop de magnétophones. Finalement, c'est toujours les produits les plus simples et les plus clairs et nets qui plaisent le plus.
Quality time. Color. Graphics and animation.
Mobile computing.
Motorini.
Essere perfetti fisicamente. Greed. Mafia.
Big cars.
Windows en uit.
That's what you're working for. Working for yourself, trying to make yourself happy.
I just want to be respected.
I think people definitely need freedom, have flexibility to work on the beach or at home.
Technology is a great thing because it helps nations advance, it helps us explore galaxies in space, and they can be fun.
I don't know about this generation. In mine, and I'm almost 70, it was very important to work hard, but it was important to have dreams while you did it. You had your eye on the plow and on the stars as well.
color on the desktop is essential for me. I like bigger screens. I like nice colors.
If I leave a file at home, then what do? Do I waste an hour of my day driving back and forth to get it?
Right now, there's no machine that sort of does both.
I'd like a full grayscale.
What I really want is something that I don't have to think about.
People want to focus on the job, not on the tool.
You know, when you talk to a customer, they'll tell you they want something.
You know what I really want?
What I really want is...
What I really want is more memory, more hard drive space, a faster processor.
I wake up in the morning, I turn on the coffee pot, and then I turn on the financial news, and then I turn on this machine.
I always expect Apple to be one step ahead of their competition. The PowerBook proved that. Now, if they've improved on the PowerBook, I'm excited about actually getting one.
So who am I? I'm Bruce Cooper. I'm the PowerBook product manager. It's been a great year. Your readers and many of your own magazines have been honoring these products as some of the best products this year. If you take computer editors all the way through design community, the PowerBooks have been receiving sort of accolades, acclaim, and sort of recognition as a breakthrough product.
Now, do they have it all worked out?
Est-ce que c'est le temps d'acheter un PowerBook maintenant?
It's not all worked out, right?
When can I get one? How can it be better? I don't know.
What do you do to make the best better?
I thought this was the best.
The PowerBook's incredibly successful in Europe, certainly from my experience, but what about worldwide?
We sold to date over 300,000 units.
Okay.
That just shows, I think, that the decisions we made around PowerBook design have really been accepted by customers.
All the things we've been saying in terms of ergonomics, communications like Apple Talk Remote Access, all of those remain true?
Absolutely. All those remain true. I mean, you know how to sell the PowerBook today. I think your colleagues will find that those stories and the ways they position the product are still true. We've taken these new products and enhanced them so they're even better for our customers.
Make it faster.
More memory.
And make it lighter, which I'm sure they will sooner or later.
More of that memory thing.
The last bit of PC envy is the battery. So bring me a nice long battery, but I'm sure you will.
In our customer surveys, the things that they most often tell us they want are greater performance, more storage, and more memory. And so introducing the first product which delivers on those requests is the PowerBook 145. It is essentially greater performance, the performance of a PowerBook 170, the top of our line last year, with a 140 screen. Customers continually want Apple to push the quality of the displays, and they want us to provide video out. Video out was a very important feature to customers. And so introducing products which will deliver on those features, I'd like to introduce the PowerBook 160 and the PowerBook 180. These products deliver on the full suite of customer requests. Better displays, providing video out, greater performance, more storage, and more memory. The PowerBook 160. It's a 25 megahertz product. It comes also with grayscale. This case is a Super Twist screen. It's about 4.5 times the performance of a classic. This is, again, essentially the performance of a 170, very much like the performance of a 145, but with all the added features. Top-of-the-line product, PowerBook 180. It has an active matrix screen. It's got about 7 times the performance of a classic. It's like a CI in your briefcase, only 35% faster.
You've got the 100, the 140, the 145, the 170, the new products, the Macintosh Duo.
Oh, it's much simpler. It's much simpler. We look at the 145 as replacing the 140, and I think you've already seen that happen in a lot of your markets. Additionally, the 160, 180 will replace the 170. Right. So that essentially the lineup for these all-in-one, all the features with you all the time notebooks are going to be the 145, the 160, and 180, with the 160 and 180 having all the video out features that we think will really be compelling to customers.
I'm in control of the game now, and it's not in control of me.
It's an awesome machine.
You know that capability with your car keys, you can clap your hands and find them? I love it. That would be wonderful. Clap your keys and your PowerBook would go, I'm here, I'm in the bedroom or something. Frivolous, but you asked.
This is the Book of Power. In Italian, Il Libro del Potere. I love it.
The only other issue which I come across quite often then is basically in terms of competition, i.e. price, both against DOS notebooks and against Windows on DOS notebooks. What can you tell me about price?
Well, the strategy on price for the product marketing team with the PowerBooks has been to build products that we can offer to the market at competitive prices. We like to summarize that as no apologies pricing. It's very clear that the features we're building in, the rich set of features that are in every PowerBook, are superior to the marketplace. The video out story we have is much better. The general built-in features of the I/O are better. Networking built-in, OS is better.
When I first saw the keyboard, I was appalled, and I said, somebody has been standing on their head looking at it backwards because it shouldn't be way up there. But then I realized when I sat on a plane with it that I didn't have to scrunch my arms against my chest, and all the other guys across the way were doing that. And then I said, aha, now I know why they did it this way. So I think it's ingenious.
I've got a presentation that fills 50 megs, and the hard disk just isn't big enough.
There's an obvious way to deliver storage that is give you bigger hard drives. If I say I'm going to deliver you an 80 megabyte hard drive instead of a 40 megabyte hard drive, you've got more storage. The other way you get more storage is by making sure that what you put on that hard drive is very efficient. I'd like to point out that if you take a competitive notebook and you put DOS 5 with all of its options and Windows 3.1 with all of its options, it takes nearly 3 times the space that the Macintosh OS for the 145 takes. The picture gets even more interesting to us when you start looking at other applications, key applications, Word 5, Lotus 123, Persuasion 2.1. Take all the options out of the box, use the standard install, load them up. What do you find? It takes more space to take the full application and its options in the Windows environment than it does in the Macintosh environment. The net of all of this is if you have a 40 megabyte hard drive on a Macintosh, you still have 20 megabytes of usable space. But if you have it on a Windows product and you have a 40 megabyte hard drive, you can't have any usable space.
Excuse me, looking at laptops?
Yeah, I'm looking at laptops.
Would you mind being in a film we're making about new PowerBooks?
No, I don't think you'd want me.
Why not? Well, I'm kind of a tough customer.
Now, there are hundreds of notebooks on the market right now. Why should I get a Mac?
Well, probably because they're the easiest to use notebook on the marketplace. And with all the built-in features that come with a PowerBook, they're probably the best value.
Okay, but why should I pay more money for a PowerBook when I can get a clone with the same memory for less?
Well, there's much more to notebook performance than just memory. If you take into account all the other built-in features with a PowerBook, you're getting a much better value.
If it were truly 8.5 by 11, that would be nice. So this does fit exactly in my briefcase and leave me room for lots of extras.
Yeah, it's portable, well-designed, compact. Easy to rip off.
Actually, we thought about that because that's why we put this little security slot here on the back. And using a third-party product, you can lock this down to a desk.
No arm guard?
No arm guard.
The screen is fine. I have no problem at all. I can adjust it to whatever light that I need, and compared to a lot of my other little gadgets that came along, including my watch, this screen is way better than that.
Is this screen as good as the 170? Because I heard that's really great.
Right, the 170 screen is really good. It's an active matrix screen. And this is also an active matrix screen on the 180. It's a grayscale active matrix screen. Additionally, we've improved the product by making it a little bit brighter and adding a shadow mask, which actually gives you that really rich satin look for the blacks, and the whites get a little brighter.
Like color, but I think that's asking a lot in a portable these days.
There are 3 things that we feel we need to accomplish with color before we can offer it to the public and be able to sell it easily and sell it well the way Apple likes to sell products. The first probably is to be sure that we're delivering color quality that customers are used to on Macintosh.
So 8 bits, no compromise?
Pretty much 8 bits, 256 colors. You know that Windows runs in 4, and that's a little easier to deliver. But I think that if we can get to the 8-bit color, and then behind that create the volume for the screen, so that we're not in the position we've been with the 170, chasing demand. Because we are believing that once color hits the market with Macintosh quality, that demand will be significant. And the other issue, which will be very tough to solve, but we must try to tackle, is battery life. Right now, color products are very power hungry. And if we can figure out a way, through science, really real science, to get better battery life with color, we'll have a much superior product in the market. So those are 3 things we're trying to get to.
98 bottle of beer. Take one down, pass it around. 98 bottle of beer on the wall.
would be more useful for sales presentations if it had a video out, instead of having to go to a third-party translator to get to a full-size monitor.
By plugging in this end to your PowerBook and this into your Apple monitor, you're able to support video out. So that's a 16-inch Apple monitor, and this is your LCD display, and I'm able to use both at the same time.
What if I wanted to have it in color?
You thought of that. Because what seems to us to be important is the ability to support color video out. Take a look. What I'm showing you here is 8-bit color, 256 simultaneous colors shown on the full-size 16-inch Apple monitor, all supported out of your PowerBook.
Got big eyes.
Frogs have big eyes.
To us, when we say supporting video out, we think of it as supporting a large range of monitors. That we're able to support the 12-inch black and white monitor, the 12-inch RGB monitor, the new color display from Apple, which is the 14-inch and the old 13-inch RGB, the 15-inch portrait, and also the 16-inch display. That's a lot of monitors.
What is the upgrade part of the new PowerBooks? Upgrade, very powerful story for Apple.
It's been a very powerful story for Apple, although we've not found the economic model to offer upgrades on these notebooks. So at this point in time, there is not a specific upgrade path from a 140 to a 145 or a 170 to a 180 or a 160 if someone wished.
And now, when I bring it to the office, how's it going to work with my Macintosh there?
Well, there's a lot of ways you could move data and files back and forth between a PowerBook and your desktop. Well, not the obvious way is with a floppy, and there was a built-in floppy into every PowerBook.
Okay.
But maybe a little more interesting to us is the fact that we've built in networking, so you can just file share back and forth between your desktop and a PowerBook by simply connecting this PowerBook to your network, built into the product. Wow. Additionally, you have the ability to use the SCSI port here, turn this product into a hard disk, and have that work with your desktop Macintosh. In fact, you can link this product to another PowerBook with that same method. Of course, we have a built-in modem slot that allows you to use modem communication, and with Apple Talk Remote, you can dial up your network from home and get to your desktop Mac. So there's lots of ways you can connect the PowerBook to your desktop.
Boy, howdy.
They are very good products, but we still need comparable pricing.
Comparable pricing, I think with local flexibility, you'll be able to see that.
Great.
You know what I really think?
What?
I think it's really very good. But I'm not going to buy it.
Oh, yeah?
You know, when I bought it, I said, well, you can already see the next generation. Not only will it have a better battery, but it'll get lighter and lighter and thinner and lighter and smaller and all the rest, and then it'll unfold, and I'll be able to put it in my back pocket. And you can just see in every one of my 6 Apple computers now the future, and I see more future here. But happily, I feel like I can hang on and have a good time until that future arrives.
Good morning. I'm Mark Auerbach. I'm the Desktop Macintosh Product Manager, and today I'm going to be introducing you to a whole new line of Macintosh products in the mid-range. So welcome to this press briefing, and let's get started.
So what can you tell me about the new product this fall, Mark?
Well, in the mid-range CPU line, we have a brand new addition to the Macintosh 2 family, the Macintosh 2VX, offering more performance and more flexibility to the high end of that customer range. Now, as you can see, these fit into the product line this way. I mentioned the LC2 and the 2SI. The 2VI is more flexible and has 20% more performance than the 2SI, so it fits in just above it. The 2CI is our current offering above that, and then we're introducing today the 2VX, which has a range of performance improvement above the 2CI of between 10 and 30%, depending on the kind of application work you're doing.
So how do we intend to position this between the SI and the CI?
The 2VX will fit in above the 2CI, being more powerful and more flexible. It'll actually form the high end of the mid-range product line.
Oh, hybrids, hang on a second. Hey, Greg, this needs to go to the printer over in Tokyo. Hang on a second. This needs to go to Tokyo overnight immediately. It's that sales brochure they're waiting for.
So you're using SideQuests?
Yeah, you know, we are. Our files have gotten so big from what we are using on our scans, and everybody's using SideQuest that we're using it. We love it. It accommodates our needs.
For the first time in the mid-range of the product line, you'll be able to put a 5 1/4 inch device right inside your Macintosh.
It's going to go like this.
The bottom interchangeable with CD drive.
Do you think that's working?
Yeah.
Actually, I can show you on this piece better. Break it.
Slow down.
You don't
get to see.
detail.
I think this is working.
So we have room inside the unit that you can't see for a hard drive, which we normally include, and the super drive. And we've also added this space for a 5 1/4 product.
A 5 1/4 inch device, what do you mean by that?
We expect one of the most popular uses for this slot will be SideQuest. SideQuest is really the de facto standard in the industry for transferring files from a DTP site, from one DTP site, desktop publishing site, to another.
That would be great. You know, look at my desk. It's got all this equipment all over the place. It lives in my hard drive. I love it.
But probably the most exciting thing from Macintosh customers' point of view is the ability to put CD-ROM in here.
George, it doesn't look like a bomb went off on it.
It does look like that, Bruce, doesn't it? Kind of standard for my office.
What's all the stuff on your desk?
Oh, a pile of journals here, a pile of medical articles and reprints that I have to file.
Why is this on your desk? It's now on CD.
Well, it's a good question. I do go up to the library and use the CD. Some of this stuff is available on CD now, but it's a couple floors away. And
why don't you get one for your office?
Well, I would if I had a place to put it.
In fact, this is the first time that Apple will be offering a CD-ROM drive as an option. And not just any drive, but the Apple CD300, a double-speed drive. And that means that you'll be able to, we think, launch applications directly from the CD-ROM. Your QuickTime movies played from CD-ROM will be much more fluid and smooth. And transferring files when you have to from the CD-ROM to the hard drive will be much faster.
George, what would your response be if Apple came out with a Macintosh with a built-in CD-ROM?
It'd be fantastic. I could get rid of this whole mess.
Photo CD is a format that will be launched by Kodak worldwide in September. And this format allows you to take your roll of film into an authorized photo CD developer and have it turned into not just slides, prints, negatives, but also a CD-ROM of those images. When I open up and look at the 100 photographs that are in any particular resolution, I don't just see the names. I see small thumbnail images called thumbnail sketches of each photograph that's on the disc. This is a QuickTime movie, so we actually have our photo CD file talking to our QuickTime file, and then we're using Apple events and other things that are in the background in system software that most users don't know about, but this is working to their benefit now. So big advantages in Macintosh integration of these formats.
So Mark, with a built-in CD-ROM drive, is this Apple's multimedia machine?
No, it really isn't. We look at the whole Macintosh family as being quite multimedia capable, from the Quadras as high-end authoring systems to the mid-range for viewing, and even the new PowerBooks for multimedia on the go. Because really the message that Apple is trying to send is we want to break this chicken and egg cycle, where developers say, we're not going to put titles on CD-ROMs because there's not enough hardware out there. And we say, as Apple, well, we're not going to deliver hardware because there's no software on CD-ROM out there. Apple is taking the stance that we want to promote the use of CD-ROM, and so we're going to heavily promote the 2VI and 2VX with built-in CD-ROM capability, and we expect a lot of really good software to follow.
These are the latest ideas. This is sort of our best way to deal with this. Subtle, but exotic.
Yeah.
It could get scooped more, right? Oh, yeah, right. We do have to talk about contrast and brightness.
Right.
Glowing. -5, plus 15. When you zero it out, it goes kind of click. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so not only are we really excited about these new mid-range CPUs, but we also have a matching new exciting lower-priced mid-range monitor as well. And that monitor is the new Macintosh color display.
When you say new, does this mean that it's going to replace what we've got now?
Yeah, that's right. It replaces the Apple high-resolution color display.
So it's just a 13-inch.
Really, we think the industry has come to a standard of calling 640 by 480 displays 14-inch. And we'll do the same with this monitor. This is the same Sony Trinitron tube that you're used to seeing, so it has the same picture quality. But if you look inside this transparent model that we've got here, If you look inside the Apple high-resolution display, you'd see 6 boards inside, and we've actually reduced this down to a single board. So it's actually a brighter CRT. That's not from the picture tube, but from the newly designed electronics from Apple.
You know, Mark, I really like this monitor. Is it multi-sync?
No, for Macintosh, it doesn't need to be. And multi-sync is kind of an artifact of a myriad of video standards that are on the DOS and Windows platforms. For Macintosh, it's really plug and play. So we don't feel that we need to burden our customers with the added complexity and cost of multi-sync. It also has new ergonomic features. You'll notice the integrated tilt and swivel base. And this meets the international requirements, the ISO requirements for tilt and swivel or articulation of the display so that it can be positioned in the most comfortable way. And the contrast and brightness controls are located right up front now, so you don't have to reach around and to get to them.
That's useful, but what about the emissions?
Yeah, actually this meets the SWEDAC standards, the toughest standards in the world for both electrical and magnetic emissions.
But I also have to compete in my markets with low-cost VGAs flooding in from the overseas. What do I tell my customers?
Well, to start with, we've got a really great low price on this product, and then also all the Apple quality reliability is all built in.
But when you say the quality and reliability, how does it really rate to VGA?
Well, as you know, Macintosh monitors have consistently been rated #1 in magazines, publications, and we expect that to continue. And we don't feel that Macintosh customers are going to trade off for a second-rate VGA monitor, the kind of quality and performance they've come to expect in Macintosh. So we're really excited about this new monitor because we think it's a perfect complement to these new CPUs in the mid-range to have a new, lower-priced color monitor with all the performance that you come to expect to match those products.
2 years ago when I started my film business, the Classic was perfect for me. What I really need now is color graphics and a heck of a lot more speed.
You know, Mark, I've got a lot of customers who have entry-level machines. They need to upgrade. It sounds like this is the machine they should be looking at.
Yeah, well, Paul, we think you're right. We know that 60% of Macintosh customers upgrade to a new, more powerful Macintosh after just 2 years. And we think the mid-range of the product line is ideally suited for that kind of customer.
Sounds like you need to upgrade.
I really need to upgrade.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Buer, and I'm the System 7.1 product manager. And what I'm going to talk to you about is a new version of System 7 that's coming out called System 7.1.
Hi, we're here from Apple Computer to see Tom Barrick here.
Okay, just a moment.
As a computer consultant for a lot of small and mid-sized companies, I've been through the upgrade game quite a few times, and frankly, between System 6 and System 7, my clients are comfortable with System 6. I'm comfortable with System 6.
For System 6 users, it's upgrade now. There's really some advantages to going to System 7. There's all of the features of publish and subscribe, the features of aliasing, file sharing. Really a way to make your Macintosh work much better than under System 6.
And I'm a little reluctant to recommend anything that has a .0 behind it.
So really, for those people who were .0 phobic or said they'd never upgrade to a .0 release of an operating system, now's the time to go. We fixed the bugs. There are a lot of benefits to System 7. It's much easier to use, it's easy to install, it's easy to customize your desktop to the way you want it.
System 7 does have a lot of nice features, and there's a lot of new software coming out that can take advantage of it.
System 7 allows you to work with the Macintosh in the way you want to work.
ちょっとすいません。
はい。
このマッキントッシュのポータブル使ってみてどうですか？
マッキントッシュはいいんですけど、ちょっと大きすぎて重いんですよね。
Every time Apple brings out a new CPU, they bring out a new version of the system software.
We've heard that a lot.
That means I've got to go around to all the CPUs on the network, change them for compatibility.
And what we've done is with 7.1, we've provided a new way to support CPUs.
That takes time, and it's a real pain in the neck.
We support the CPU in the current version of the operating system. And the way we do this is by shipping something called a system enabler, which ships as part of the system software that allows the CPU to simply plug into the base of the current operating system. One version to support. When a new CPU comes out, that CPU simply plugs into your network. It's also For the System 7 users, it's a minor update. There's the fonts folder, so if you're somebody in the desktop publishing market and you use a lot of fonts, this is for you. And for customers wanting to take advantage of future capabilities such as Apple Script or OCE or QuickDraw GX or language modules, System 7.1 will be the base system software to support these technologies. If you're a network administrator or you're supporting a large group of Macintoshes, the tune-ups are integrated into the base of the system software. Much easier to support.
マッキントッシュにパワーブックあるの知ってますか？
でもそれは漢字ができないんでしょ？
And 7.1 represents the introduction of Apple's WorldScript technology and also provides System 7 for the Japanese, the Chinese, and the Korean markets.
This client has an interesting situation. They have offices here in Seattle and in Japan.
For the Japanese market, 7.1 means they get System 7. They currently don't have System 7, which means the PowerBooks and the Quadras don't ship in a Japanese system.
So even if I want to standardize on System 7, I can't because they don't have a kanji version.
Well, with the advent of TrueType into the Japanese market, it gives us the ability to create great-looking text and great-looking kanji characters at any size. WorldScript is a technology that makes it much easier to support different languages in the base of our operating system. Well, WorldScript, what it does is it provides an enhanced way for applications and input methods to talk together, such that they don't need to be bundled to provide inline support. This makes it much easier for us to get our hardware and our software products out into different languages and different markets much faster. WorldScript not only provides the ability to have all these languages supported in one operating system and in separate documents, but it also has the ability to support this in one document, such that I can enter and display any language in this document and know that the operating system will support it. In the future, it'll be as easy for me to add a language to my system as it is adding a font today.
マッキントッシュのパワーブック漢字もできるんですよ。
あ、そうですか。
ちょっとご覧になります？
ぜひ。わあ、見て見て。あら、ほんとすごいわね。
漢字もできるんですか、これは。
Your best friend, would you recommend 7.1 to him?
Absolutely.
Hey, wait a minute. There's more software news. I'm Doug Campbelljohn, the product marketing manager for QuickTime, and we've been doing some things to QuickTime that I really think you're going to enjoy. Introducing QuickTime 1.5. Now, in addition to the photo CD support that you've already seen, in QuickTime 1.5 we've got a new compression scheme called Compact Video. What Compact Video gives you is approximately double the playback performance that you got out of QuickTime 1.0. So you can get 320 by 240 windows playing back at the same frame rate, or get up to 30 frames per second at the smaller window sizes. But there's even more. With the addition of third-party cards such as Supermax Digital Film Card or NewVideo's IQ DVI card, you can get 30 frames per second, full-screen, full-motion video. So what that means is you have a choice. You can either get up to quarter-screen video and compact video, or plug in a card to get full-screen, full-motion video, all running in any existing QuickTime application. So that's QuickTime 1.5. Photo CD support, larger software video, full-screen hardware video, and a lot more. And you know what happens here.
Oh, I would love to have a PowerBook, you know, that I could take my work home with me. But I don't know, transferring all those files,
It's a bore.
you know, what if I lost something? I just want it to be easy.
Ich habe an PowerBook für die Vertreter gedacht. Aber 2 Computer für jeden Angestellten ist einfach viel zu teuer.
Sometimes when I'm with a client, I realize I left my files at the office. I hate that.
Je trouve que le keyboard est un peu trop petit.
Aussi, l'image est un peu trop petite aussi au bureau.
C'est ça, oui.
People spend a lot of money on notebook computers, and they want to know that this investment is going to go as far as it can. They don't want to have to buy 2 machines. So Toshiba, Compaq, other competitors have recognized this, and I think Apple will do well to recognize it as well.
The customer's saying, hey, what I want is to be like a desktop. In the morning, I don't want to come in and reconfigure for my network and my monitor and run these special utilities and run the drivers and all the software. I don't want to deal with all that. What I really want is the best of both worlds, because I want the benefits of the desktop world and the benefits of a notebook world in kind of one system. And that really drove our vision to develop the Duo system.
This system really came out of thinking about the users and thinking about how they like to use things. How simply and easily could somebody come along with their portable after their long trip to Dallas or wherever, come back and connect all the information and work they've done on the road into their desktop system.
I can use QuickTime, I can do applications in the background, has the kind of performance I'd expect from a desktop. The difference here is now I can come over and press this button on the side, and what you'll see is a dialog come up that says, hey, wait a minute, save changes. In this case, I didn't like the changes I made, so I'll go ahead and quit. And then you'll see that it goes ahead and turns off and ejects out a 4-pound PowerBook.
I think getting a machine which is of an FX class, this small, that runs on batteries, is just phenomenal.
A lot of this styling is very difficult to achieve in a small, compact package. It's real easy to do in washing machines and desktop machines, but when you start sucking the air out of the product like we've done, it's impossible to get gratuitous features in here just for styling and still maintain a tight package.
It's a very clean design. We spent a lot of time making everything come out the back. A lot of other vendors make doors in the side, so you have doors falling off and cables coming in all over the place. We have rubber bumpers along the edge here, a rounded design up front. This is one of Apple's best strong suits, is where our ability in product design and plastics comes through. We can really do a lot of these complex shapes that a lot of other people can't do, and they stick to very hard edges.
It also adds a certain level of excitement when you own this product. You'll look at it after a couple of weeks and you'll start noticing that there's a little bit more to it than just a plain box.
So that's just on the outside. Let's take a look inside, because this is great stuff. Two models, the PowerBook Duo 210 and PowerBook Duo 230. Both are 68030s, one at 25 megahertz, one at 33, 4.25 pounds, 1.4 inches thick, or thin, actually, I like to say. That's thin.
The board comes standard with 4 megabytes of RAM on board, and then we have a 4 and 8 meg RAM card, which simply plugs in right here. We have a new modem technology on the PowerBook system, which also plugs in pretty easily like this.
Very small design. If you look at any competitive modem, for example, the Compaq LTE Lite modem, it's twice this size. We had to do a lot of work to really shrink it down to this size, to fit in this form factor, to get it down in 4 pounds, and implement a whole new architecture to really shrink it.
All the machines on the marketplace today tend to warp as you open and close the machine. So what we did was we came up with the concept of stiffening the machine with a very strong, lightweight material, magnesium.
So when you pick it up and do this, it feels real tough. You get a lot of structural stiffness to it. Plus, you get this kind of continuous force coming through the display like that, because we can implement a whole new assembly with the magnesium frame.
We know that magnesium is a very good conductor of heat, so we added a small thermally conductive rubber pad on the bottom here, which sits right on top of our processor.
And just sucks up all the heat, dissipates it out, so your machine stays at good operating temperature. There's an extensive reliability engineering effort behind the scenes to make sure that the product works day in and day out for you. We have environmental testing where we test it in low temperature, high humidity. We have shock and vibration testing to really shake it.
You have to test things like hinges. You don't have those on desktop machines. You don't have to design a desktop machine to fall off the desk and still work.
What I would love to have would be some kind of a magic function, if you will, where imagine I just got back from a trip and I push just one button and I say transfer all, and talk to my machines.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, Safe, but
Yeah.
my customers and the competition is going to say, this stuff's old hat. We've been there.
Yeah, I think that's easy to come back against because all they have to really offer is just hardware, just expansion. This is the compact LTE in their expansion base, or what they call their expansion base. Their eject button is right here, so let's go ahead and eject that. There we are. Now, instantly saved it, right? The mechanical lever says, hey, you're in control. You want out of there? You're out of there. I'm not talking to anybody about it. You're out. I'm on my own. I'm independent. That's what the mechanical does for you.
When you take this and you put it inside a box, you don't want to feel that you're damaging this in any way. We're trying to connect to analogies that people have in the outside world. You know, Dave's always been talking about the VCR tape goes into VCR, it sucks it in a beautifully sexy way, and when you press a button, it just goes out to you and delivers it to you to your hand.
The demand is out there more for the best of both worlds, rather than just what they have to offer, which is hardware focused at just expansion for a notebook, and that's only a small, narrow piece.
We focus on the end user.
We focus, yes, more on the end user with PowerLatch and the integration. They focus on, can they sell more hardware?
Is PowerLatch part of the mechanics of it? Is that how it works?
Well, that's part of it. Part of it is the single point connection where the motor kicks in, pulls it, but it's also all of the hardware and underlying system software that automatically senses the fact that you have cards in here, NuBus cards in here, that you have a math coprocessor in here, that you have a larger video display with more color depth.
It's a single-step process. It's maybe a single-hand process. It's something you don't have to think about. It just happens.
How long before I have to recharge the battery?
Depends on how you use the machine. You'd find a range from 2 to 4.5 hours, depending on how bright you keep the screen, what kind of things you're doing, and the hard drive. In addition, you'll find we made the battery very easy to replace. You can replace it when you're in your Duo dock, it's automatically charging in here, but if you'd like to put a new one in, it just slides right out even while it's running. And then you can go ahead and drop a new one in this easily. And we've done some automatic things for you as well. Automatic screen dimming, so that the backlight goes off on the screen, but if you touch anything, it comes right back on. We've also implemented the sleep when closed. We have some software that turns off the microprocessor and subsystems when they're not in use. This is something that the DOS world with the SL just started implementing. We've been doing it for years. And automatic battery charging anytime the AC is in. So if I plug in here, the battery gets charged. If I plug in anywhere else, the battery gets charged automatically.
Increasingly, more people are using the PowerBook for multimedia presentations out in the field, particularly with QuickTime being integrated in the Mac operating system. The ability to display color in a portable environment is going to become increasingly important to people who want to do presentations.
To me, the PowerBook has improved the way I do business. It's as simple as that. So I use it to its best, and I just cannot throw it away and go back to just the desktop today.
We also had customers that said, I may not need all the capability of the Duo dock. I may want some of that desktop functionality like video out and local talk and the rest, but I may not need an integrated hard drive and all the other things. So we developed a second product for those customers that needed a lower entry point, and that's called the Macintosh Duo Mini Dock. It's small, lightweight, portable, weighs about a pound, has all the standard Macintosh I/O, so it has a video connector, so you could connect a large 16-inch monitor like this. And the way it works is you attach just like this, guides in, push down this lever, and then you're ready to go. Have all your cables plugged in, and also gives you elevation.
What about connectivity? When I've only got the CPU, what do I get to connect to?
Well, there's three ways when you just have the CPU to get information in and out. You have the local talk port built in, use System 7 file sharing, a standard serial cable or local talk cable. There's an optional PowerBook Duo floppy adapter that attaches to the PowerBook Duo like this, and then you connect up an external floppy disk drive to read and write Macintosh and MS-DOS diskettes. And then you have the modem to be able to use Apple Talk Remote Access, because it's a high-speed modem,
or send receive fax, or dial into an online service and pull stuff off that way or back to your host mainframe. So 3 ways: local talk, floppy, and modem.
Well, why didn't you just put the floppy drive into the PowerBook Duo? You did with some of the other models.
Well, one of the things that customers asked us to do was to create the smallest, lightest, most powerful PowerBook possible. And we could do that by making the floppy drive external and then allow you to decide when you want to take it and when you might need it, rather than having it built in all the time.
So tell me about availability.
Well, we'll see seed units of the CPU and Duo Dock in September for Apple offices, and then we'll see revenue units of the CPU in the U.S. at announcement time. We'll start to see revenue units for the Duo Dock at the end of November. And the reason why we won't have larger availability of Duo Dock before the end of November is we're right at the stage in the program where everything comes together, and we're trying to pass EMI testing for SEC approval. And it isn't until this point in the project where you can do that, and once you figure out how to do that, there's about a 12-week lag time before you get all the parts you need to start building in volume. The same thing that happens on any CPU project. We went through this with the LC in 1990.
But the other parts?
The other parts, the mini dock, we'll start to see towards the end of the year. Batteries we'll see at announcement time. RAM we'll see at announcement time. And the good news is we'll see the floppy adapter and the external floppy drives at announcement with the CPU.
Okay, so the CPUs are coming out at product announcement.
Right.
But the docking station's not until the end of November.
Right.
But it's a Duo.
Right.
So why are we doing this today?
It's competitive pressure. We have a tremendously differentiated product, better than anybody else has ever put on the market today. And we want to be out there first with mind share, capture that before somebody else jumps in there. We also think that initially there is a market just for the CPU.
Well, ideally, the best type of machine would almost be a portable desktop, to where you can take a piece of your desktop with you and go into the streets with it. We have a portable Macintosh. It's easy to use, and it allows people to be creative and do their work anywhere. Now what we need to focus on is addressing the second issues. How do we maximize the connectivity between that portable solution and the rest of the world?
As with all projects, this is such a team effort, but I think one of the great things about this is people look at it and they want it.